The stellar assembly maintained a thick library of rules for its orbital outposts, a catalog so heavy with caution it could smother an asteroid. Dining regulations were among the strictest. One stood out like neon ink on white paper. Predator species children may not be served in public cafeterias. The reasoning was simple: too much instinct, too little predictability. Officially, Mara, head chef of Outpost Lyra 4, had acknowledged those regulations a dozen times during orientation. Unofficially, she tossed them aside the moment a small figure crossed her cafeteria threshold. Sorai looked almost fragile by Dracarian standards. 4 thin arms tucked close to their body, soft scales shimmering like nacre, wide pupils reflecting a universe of hunger and worry. Barely tall enough to reach Mara's waist, holding a battered datapad to their chest like a shield. The Dracari homeworld was legend, an oceanic death planet. Predators that humans could barely imagine swam there, and the adults who hunted them were colossal, 3-meter apex beings whose jaws could bite through hull metal. Diplomats treated adult Dracari with deference bordering on worship. Children, though, children no one knew what to do with. Sorai's eyes locked onto the food lines with such naked need that the Harvian server, Lino, almost fainted. His antennae drooped flat to his skull. "You're your kind, Mara, but regulations, caretakers, this isn't." Before he could finish, Aaron, the sous chef, stepped from the kitchen with flour on her sleeve and irritation in her voice. "We read the rule book, enough times to quote it in our sleep." She knelt to Sorai's eye level, speaking gently. "You hungry, little one?" The translator collar flickered. "Our class field trip, everyone ate, teacher forgot me." A tiny pause. "I will not cause incident." That last line landed like a stone dropped in Mara's gut, the practiced cadence, the fear beneath it. She'd heard children on Earth sound like that, kids told they were dangerous before they ever did anything wrong. Mara exhaled through her teeth. "Lino, go take a 30-minute break. Cafeteria is closed, private lesson happening, very educational, very official." The Harvian practically ran. Once the doors sealed, Mara motioned Sorai into the kitchen. "All right, Hunter Cub, we're cooking something real today." For centuries, the galaxy had refined food science toward neutrality: beige paste, universal gels, flavorless protein blocks. No risk, no insult, no texture. To Mara, it was culinary amputation. Food should speak, should roar. She hauled open a private storage compartment, off-record ingredients she'd smuggled from Earth. "You know what humans used to be?" she asked, pulling out slabs of flash-frozen game meat. "Persistence predators. We chased animals across continents until they collapsed. We won by outlasting everything else alive." Sorai tilted their head, fascinated. Their scales glittered as they walked around the table, tracking Mara's movements with their 4 arms tucked neatly behind their back. "You still are predators," Sorai noted softly. "Not with claws or teeth," Mara replied, "with fire and seasoning." She dusted the meat with cracked pepper, garlic, and rosemary grown in a tiny hydroponic pod above her bunk. The scent filled the air, thick and wild. "Your people hunt using electricity, right?" Mara asked. Sorai perked up. "Mother tells stories, our pods swim in storm oceans. We strike prey together, lightning in all directions. Water turns white." Mara grinned. "That's art." She fired the stove to full heat. The pan went blindingly bright. The sear sang. Aromatics curled through the room, and Sorai inhaled sharply. Across 17 visual bands, the Maillard reaction must have been a fireworks display. She plated the meat beside roasted vegetables tuned for Dracarian mineral needs. Drizzle of reduction sauce glimmering like spilled ink. Then came the final flourish, crispy golden squares. "Potatoes," Mara said with the reverence of a priest. "We figured out how to make plants taste like victory, changed our whole species' trajectory." Sarai selected one square with the delicacy of a jeweler handling gems. The first bite froze them. The second bite shook them. By the third, they were devouring with the focused intensity of a born hunter, 4 arms moving in elegant sequence. This, Sarai struggled through a full mouth, this tastes like storms, like lightning and salt waves. Mara leaned back satisfied. That's because I'm feeding you what you need, not what some committee is afraid of. Word spread. Fast. Rumors crawled through the station's vents and corridors. A human chef serving predator children, not sedating them, not restraining them, feeding them. Next came the Harloon adolescents. Then young Spinklo stalkers, pads clicking across tile. Then whisper-silent nebulites, gliding like shadows. The cafeteria transformed from neutral feeding hall into a lively den of youth, predators laughing, trading stories, clinking plates. 14 cease and desist orders arrived from the Stellar Assembly. Mara framed them above the stoves. She built an entire section of the menu for predator children and titled it the Little Hunter's Menu. Each dish pushed boundaries, tailored to biology, to instinct, to joy. Sarai became her shadow, taste tester, student, companion. Alongside the food, they learned the truth. Predators didn't have to be monsters. They could be community. One evening, Mara presented a new dish to Sarai. Layered, storm-colored, fragrant with sea salt vapor. Name it, she challenged. Sarai pondered, tail twitching. The Tempest Hunt Feast. The name stuck immediately. Months passed. Data rolled in. Predator-cub incidents dropped to 0. Families flocked in. Even the most fearsome Dracarian parents waited politely for tables, enormous frames hunched over tiny reservation screens. A year after Sarai's first meal, Mara baked a cake, human style with whipped frosting. Edible lightning bolts crowned the top. Sarai, scales harder now but eyes no less bright, cut the first slice and whispered, "Thank you for feeding monsters." Mara tousled the child's head. "I don't feed monsters, I feed kids. One day the galaxy will understand that difference." Sarai grinned, rows of metal-piercing teeth gleaming. "Humans are terrifying." Mara laughed, "Takes one to know one." Outside, stars spun their endless pattern. Inside, heat and spice lingered as testimony to something far stronger than fear. A truth served hot on a plate. Compassion can tame any universe. Subscribe to the channel to make the stories even more exciting.